Ethan felt Sandra's words penetrate deep into his mind, like an echo that couldn't be ignored. In the hustle of the street, a heavy silence descended between them, thick as a dense fog. They stopped for a moment in the middle of the sidewalk. Looking at each other intensely, he pulled her closer, feeling the warmth of her body. Their eyes met, and in that gaze were all the unasked questions and uncertain answers that had crossed their minds over time. "Sandra," Ethan whispered, "I realize now that maybe I've been too focused on my own thoughts and troubles. In your presence, it's as if everything complicated becomes clear." Sandra gently stroked his cheek, feeling his words warm her soul. "Ethan, all I want is to be a part of your life, to walk alongside your story, whether it's written on paper or lived in reality." Ethan smiled, touched by her sincerity. With their hands still tightly linked, they resumed their walk. Around them, the city seemed to continue its rhythm, but for them, the world had narrowed into a universe of their own, where every step was a step closer to something that could not be easily defined. "Sandra," Ethan said after a few moments of silence, "have you thought about what it would be like to leave everything behind and go on a little vacation? Maybe a place where time can't find us, where it's just the two of us." Sandra laughed, a laugh that expressed both surprise and delight. "Ethan, that sounds perfect. But I don't think we need to leave everything behind to experience a greater closeness between us. Maybe just spiritually, if not physically. I think we can build it right here, step by step." "Good. Please go back and take care of your restaurant. I promise I will make time and look for you in Picnic. We'll continue the discussion there. Is that okay? I'll be waiting." The next day was Saturday. Ethan woke up early and went downstairs. He walked into the living room. He looked at the photos and diplomas. He went outside, strolling, looking at all the houses. A little girl and a boy were playing in front of one of the houses. He approached the boy, who was sitting on the ground. The boy hugged his leg. Ethan crouched down and stroked his head. He wished he could play too. He could only watch and enjoy the sight. He turned back towards his house. When he arrived, he opened the door and stepped inside. He closed the door behind him. He sat down on the sofa. He heard a knock at the door. He got up from the sofa and went to open the door. It was Adriana. Beautiful and elegant as usual. "Hey, what brings you here?" "We'll talk in a moment. Do you mind if I take a shower?" Adriana asked. "No," Ethan replied. "Take your time." Ethan sat back down on the sofa. He pulled his legs up to his chest. He rested his chin on his knees. What else was going to happen today? A few hours passed, during which Ethan and Adriana didn't separate from each other. "Ethan, I've spent wonderful moments with you. We won't be seeing each other for a while. I'm going to try a trial period to mend things with Matt Talbany. Maybe you understand that this is about my daughter." Suddenly, Ethan felt the air in the room grow heavier. Playing absent-mindedly with a crease in his trousers, he lowered his gaze. Although he wanted to speak or ask her to stay, the words didn't escape. Adriana sat beside him on the edge of the sofa. Like a half-made promise, she placed a hand on his shoulder. Her touch was warm, but distant. "I have to do this, Ethan. It's about my child," she said softly, as if trying to convince herself as well. Ethan lifted his eyes and fixed them on her. Even though she was sincere, his eyes were full of uncertainty. "Adriana, I'm aware of your daughter's importance. I understand that Matt is her father. However, you are the one who decides. You deserve more than giving up your happiness for a relationship that hurt you." As she leaned her head back, Adriana smiled bitterly and searched for answers in the fine cracks of the wall. "Do you think I want to do this? Do you think I don't feel anything? Ethan, this isn't just about me. The goal is to make peace with myself. I need to give Matt a chance if he has changed and can be the father my daughter needs." Ethan suddenly got up from the sofa, his agitated steps disturbing the silence in the room. He stopped near the window and looked outside. "I understand you perfectly, and not just because you're right. It's a sensible decision. Adriana stood up and walked toward him. Forcing him to look her in the eye, she placed her hands on his arm. Ethan, I'm not saying I'm indifferent. I'm just saying that life requires us to make hard decisions sometimes. Neither of them spoke for a few seconds. The silence, heavy and full of unanswered questions, enveloped them. How long? He asked, his voice calmer, yet cold. I'm not sure. Maybe a few months, or even longer. However, Ethan, I promise I'll be honest with you if things don't work out with Matt. I'll come to talk. And if it works out, avoiding an answer, Adriana lowered her gaze. Instead, she placed her hands on his cheeks and kissed him. The kiss was bittersweet, full of regret and shattered hopes. I'm sorry, Ethan. Adriana left, leaving him alone in the middle of the living room. Silent, Ethan stayed there for a while. Once again, he approached the window and looked outside. The children in his neighborhood were still playing, their laughter seeming to come from another world. This is not the end, Ethan told himself.